What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now, I've got a pretty interesting article for you guys here today. Check this out, y'all. Food prices worried most voters, but Trump's plans likely won't lower their grocery bills. Now, I love how these economists, they'll come in and say, oh, well, it's going to damage the economy. It's going to make everything more expensive. It's going to cause inflation to go up. I wonder how they know this, right? Like, I understand they put all their plans together and then they work out their numbers and they get whatever they get, right? And whatever they get might show them one thing, but how do they know this? Well, for one thing, they don't, as a matter of fact, because you don't know what the budgets are going to look like, which impacts inflation because of deficit spending and the government issuing more debt and devaluing our dollar. So you don't know that. You don't know what the impacts of these tariffs are going to be. You don't really know what the impacts of deporting criminals out of this country is actually going to be. You don't know what the impacts of Trump's policies are going to have on the markets. You don't know that. But you gotta love they're trying to tell you, they're trying to warn you, America, you made the wrong mistake, you made the wrong choice here, you made a very, very grave mistake, and it's going to cost you money. And where's their evidence for this? Americans are fed up with the price of food, and many are looking to President-elect Donald Trump to lower their grocery bills. Trump often railed on the campaign trail against hefty price increases for bacon, cereal, crackers, and other items. We'll get them down, he told shoppers during a September visit to a Pennsylvania grocery store. But the food price inflation that stunned the U.S. and other parts of the world in 2021 and 2022 had complicated causes that are difficult to unwind. No, they're not that difficult to unwind. As a matter of fact, from the pandemic to the Ukraine war to avian flu. Hang on. No. We know that inflation went up mostly due to a supply chain crisis because the economy was shut down. Right? And we struggled to get people back to work. They didn't want to go back to work. We had a supply chain problem, which caused inflation to skyrocket. None the least of that was the insane spending going on in the government at the time. Partly Trump, mostly Biden. Yes, $1.5 trillion deficit spending does not do good things for the value of our dollar. Doesn't do good things at all. But, yeah, you can pin that down. I don't think the Ukraine war made the cost of eggs go up, for crying out loud. Insane, y'all. And many economists think Trump's plans, including putting tariffs on imported goods, foods, and deporting undocumented workers, could actually make food prices rise. As of October, U.S. prices for food eaten at home were up 28% from 2019, according to government figures released Wednesday. But the growth peaked in 2022. Between October 2023 and October 2024, food prices rose 2%, which was lower than the overall inflation rate. So what? They're still going up, right? We had an insane inflationary period, right? It wasn't the worst, obviously, but that made people's pocketbooks hurt because wages didn't go up to meet that, regardless of what they tell you. Supermarket sticker shock, nevertheless, weighed on the U.S. electorate. About 7 in 10 voters, including 70% of women and 63% of men, said they were very concerned about the cost of food and groceries, according to AP Votecast, a survey of more than 120,000 voters. Only 1 in 10 said they were not too concerned or not concerned at all. Yeah, that's your richer people, the upper middle class, and then your elites that are actually rich. Yeah, they don't know because they don't care, because they just spend money. The more money they spend, that means the less tax they have to pay. Trump won decisively among voters who said they were very concerned. Around 6 in 10 voters in that group supported him, while 4 in 10 supported Vice President Kamala Harris, his Democratic rival. Harris won strong majorities of voters who were somewhat concerned, not too concerned, or not concerned at all. What does that tell you, folks? What does that right there tell you? That, yeah, not a lot of broke people voted for Kamala Harris. Yeah, because if they're not concerned about grocery prices at all, yeah, that means they're probably rich. That means the Democratic Party's base has shifted from the working class blue collar person like me to the elite. As a matter of fact, something I've been saying for a while. And there you go. There's some evidence to back that up a little bit. Asked how he would lower grocery prices during a September town hall in Michigan, Trump said tariffs would help U.S. farmers. Trump has called for a 60% tariff on products made in China and a universal tariff of 10 to 20% on all other foreign goods that enter the United States. In some speeches, he mentioned even higher percentages. Yeah, he's floated all kinds of stuff around. Trump said U.S. farmers were getting decimated because the U.S. allows so many agricultural products in the country. As of 2021, the U.S. imported 60% of its fresh fruit, 38% of its vegetables, excluding potatoes and mushrooms, and 10% of its beef, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. We're going to have to be a little bit like other countries, he said. We're not going to allow so much to come in. Yeah, they screwed that up, as a matter of fact. Allow so much. We're not going to allow so much come. Yeah, that could be viewed in a different way, if you will. So I went ahead and added the correct words. We're not going to allow so much to come in. We're going to let our farmers go to work. But David Ortega, a professor of food economics and policy at Michigan State University, said that food producers rely on imported goods like fertilizer, equipment, and packaging materials. If they're forced to pay more for those items, that they will raise prices, Ortega said. Yes, as a matter of fact, they will. But once again, they never ever explain the tariffs correctly, right? Yeah, sure. They always call it a tax on the middle class or on the lower people, right? Guess what, folks? If you don't buy imported products, those American-made products, they don't get those tariffs. So you can't call it a tax. You just can't, right? It's just bonkers to think that. Buy American, for crying out loud. Sure, it might cost a little bit more, but why would you not want to invest into your own country? Why would you not want to buy local, buy from U.S. Producers? That makes no sense to buy, produce, for crying out loud. Imported produce. No, some stuff, I get it. Some stuff has to be imported. Whatever. Sure. However, they're not looking at the bigger picture here. We've got a massive change going on in the country right now. And all of his policies put together, they have no idea. Sure, that right there, just the tariffs probably make that go up. But you factor in the energy costs, because what is he going to do? He's going to unleash energy in this country. Oil drilling, natural gas, everything, which is going to bring the cost of transportation down, which is going to bring the cost of transporting those goods to and from anywhere in the country. It's going to bring that down. So offsetting the tariffs right off the top. That's what that's going to do. And, as a added bonus, your electric bill will go down, your gas bill will go down, blah, blah, blah. A lot will go down because of cheap energy. Cheap energy makes everything else much more cost effective, if you will, because everything, just about everything, relies upon transportation to get where it needs to go. And they try to say, well, that's only 14 cents on the dollar. Yeah, that 14 cents adds up. I think a lot of that 14 cents on the dollar would offset a lot of those tariffs. And you know what? If he goes through with one of his campaign promises to eliminate income tax, which I'm not sure how that's going to work, he's going to have a lot of tariffs to fund the government, which I honestly don't think that's going to happen, y'all. But, that would offset a lot of that right there as well. U.S. farmers also could have trouble selling their goods overseas since other countries would likely respond with retaliatory tariffs, he said. Around 20% of U.S. agricultural production is exported each year, according to the USDA. There is a fundamental disconnect between the stated goal of reducing grocery prices and tariff policy that only stands to increase those costs, said Tom Madrecki. Madrecki something, the association's vice president of campaigns and special projects. Ortega said Trump's plans to deport people who are in the U.S. illegally could also drive up grocery prices. I wonder where they're getting this from. There are more than 2 million undocumented workers throughout the U.S. food chain, he said, including an estimated 1 million working on farms, 750,000 working in restaurants, and 200,000 in food production. Do you really think these people are just outright insane? Okay, so they base their projections upon Donald Trump deporting every single criminal alien out of the country. Who, like a show of hands in the comment section, thinks that that'll actually happen? Nobody thinks that he will get rid of all undocumented immigrants or criminal aliens, as they are legitimately named, because they are criminals and they are alien to this country. They're not undocumented immigrants. They're not immigrating. If they were immigrating, they would have went through the legal channels. I can't stand that language. They're not undocumented immigrants. That's just absurd on its face, and you can debunk it logically. They're criminal aliens, as a matter of fact. Now I can see, right, Donald Trump's plan is to start off with the criminals. Get these people out of here. And he's going to close off that southern border. Right, that's going to stop a lot of this. He's going to try to get the wall built, for crying out loud. He's going to divert funds from here to get that wall built. I think that's going to be one of the first things Congress does, is start up that damn wall and get that thing going. Right, and then we're going to get a bunch of immigration legislation, blah, 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 blah. You get it. But the left and the corporate press, they're acting like they're just going to employ a bunch of people, a bunch of cops, to go around and actually search for criminal aliens. Do you really think that's how that works? No, that's not how that works. No, they're going to just deny a whole bunch of these people that Biden has let in. Anybody with court documents, when they show up, nope, you're getting deported. Boom, get these people out of there. They're not going to go searching for these people. I'm sorry, so most of those workers are probably still going to be here. So that throws off this entire story right off the top. Now, that is also based upon the premise that these places aren't going to hire American citizens. Like, how do they know this as well? Do they really think that somebody that's in need of a job and wants a job bad enough wouldn't go do these jobs for the same wages? As a matter of fact, they pay those people pretty good. You think they just get paid dirt, nothing? Almost nothing? No, they're getting paid, because a lot of those places, they don't have to pay for insurance for these people. They don't have to do none of the paperwork for these people. None of that stuff. So they can pay them the exact same wage. And they probably will, because it's fair to do so, and most people are fair. Most of these companies are fair. They're going to pay them decent wages. Right? A lot of those jobs I would go do if it paid enough. Right? If it paid more than what I'm getting right now, sure, I'd go pick the crops, as Nancy Pelosi said. And like the premise of that as well, to think about that. They want these people to come in as cheap slave labor almost. It's not actually slave labor, but because you're paying these people, but it's based upon the premise that they're not getting paid as much as an American citizen would get if they had that same job. What does that say about the Democrat Party? That's absurd, y'all. Let's finish this thing out right quick. At the Michigan town hall, Trump said lowering energy costs by increasing oil and gas drilling would also lower food prices. If you make donuts, if you make cars, whatever you make, energy is a big deal, and we're going to get that. It's my ambition to get your energy bills within 12 months down 50%, he said. Yes, that is common sense, y'all. But they go on to say, and I'm not going to continue with this story because it's garbage and I'm trying to keep my videos short, but they go on to say that, it only affects 14 cents on the dollar. Well, when you think about a company that's making millions of dollars, that's a lot of money, y'all. That's a whole lot of money. Yeah. And they say that doesn't matter. Even down, I think the lowest projection was 5 cents on the dollar. Oh, do you think that's going to lower your costs? That's a lot. That's 5%. That's a decent bit. And they're trying to brush that off as nothing. These people are absolutely absurd, but I think I've rambled off long enough on this one, y'all. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comments section. And don't forget to smash that like button for me. YouTube is trying to keep me off the platform, as a matter of fact. To be honest with you. Like they're trying to keep me from being monetized, saying that this is harmful content. Let me know down in the comments section if you think this is harmful content. It's absurd. They're just lying. They're outright lying. And YouTube, if you listen to this, you're liars and you're dog shit, as a matter of fact. And you could go fuck yourselves. That's all I got. I want to thank everybody for watching. And y'all try to have a good day. And stay legitical. Peace.